What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 42 of me, documenting my journey building my own AI search startup. I can't believe it's episode 42. I am coming out here live after a few weeks. Some things were going on in life. Primarily, there was just a lot of noise and disturbance where I live, a whole lot of construction activity, and it really affected my work, my mental state. Because, well, this is proven scientifically. If you don't have a lot of options and are constrained in a tough situation, your stress, anxiety goes through the roof. And that's exactly what happened. Uh, we had a lease and everything, and we couldn't break. And it was just a nightmare situation. The place we are living in just turned out to be an absolute nightmare. Well, we've done some things, and I'm happy to say that we're moving from this place in a couple of weeks. We had to take a hit, a big loss, and it's tough, especially when you don't have a job. You don't have an income, a source of income. The only source of income I have is just some equity I own, which is not really income. It's just equity that hopefully grows, um, and then I have to cash out portions of that equity in stocks, etc., to live and support my family. But I think it's the right thing to do. I was working at Google, a pretty good job, but just wasn't really happy. Didn't feel that satisfaction, um, sense of satisfaction, sense of worth for myself. And Google is going through a transition. They have their own problems, become very political. Not a great place to work, maybe, in my opinion, anymore. But anywho, I'm back. And today we're going to talk about AI generated newsletters. And I guess you may be thinking why I'm talking about newsletters when I'm building an AI search platform. And if you're thinking what is AI search platform, what I mean by that is really think of it like a much nicer Perplexity, in my opinion, that's designed from the scratch with AI, the world we live in with AI in mind. And how would you design something from scratch if you had to build a search engine or a search platform today? And that's what I ended up going through, the opportunity I took for myself, quitting my job, to rethink from scratch. And there are some interesting ideas. And the end result, hopefully, you'll have a chance to see it soon. I know I keep saying it for the past few months, but I'm really hoping maybe a couple more months, I should be able to show it to people. The end result is that it takes a lot of stress away, is how I put it, because modern AI can end up doing a lot of work for you, not just research, pull things and summarize, which is what early AI search did. Uh, it just summarized pages. That's what AI mode in Google is, essentially. I was at Google when AI mode was being developed in response to ChatGPT's launch and success. And I was at Google when it was prototyped, internally tested. I was testing with a colleague internally AI mode. I can tell you for a fact that AI mode absolutely was started off at least as a way to just summarize search results and some of the content from the search results from the Google's index. So it's not just summarizing snippets. Google's index has access to the entire web pages, but it does end up being a summarization effort, and which is fine, which is what I guess is a good start. But what I'm thinking about and what I'm talking about is just miles beyond just purely summarization. It's to really understand the intent, why the user is asking what they're asking in a non-creepy way, in a privacy conscious way, and what is the best we could do to answer it, often involving web sources, often involving fetching them in batches, often involving um, rethinking after we find some sources, how we approach the problem and fetch new sources. Then almost in a loop, we go in a loop to kind of try to figure out whether we are able to figure out what the query is and are able to answer it, and do we have the right content to enrich the response, and then stop once you reach some kind of a stable point, and then put it together, compose the response and show it. And the end result should be, ideally, the AI ends up doing a lot of heavy lifting for the user. And so the user gets a response that is tailored, personalized. So that takes away some of the mental overload that people have to do, because you have to always sort of filter. So, like, for example, if you're doing car shopping or home shopping or travel exploration or books or movies or TV shows to watch, typical websites will just tell you what's most popular, what's trending, etc. But you have to mentally filter those things out based on your budget, based on your preferences, based on what you like, what you dislike, based on who you're going with, like travel, for example, things like that. And all that burdens on you. And the, in the new world with AI native search platforms, the burden shifts to the tool, in this case, the search platform I'm building. And hopefully you have a lot less effort to put in mentally to get some closure, get some answers, get some ideas, and figure out what are the next steps. The second thing I think people may be thinking is, how is this different than ChatGPT? I can just chat. I think the big difference, I would say, is just the user experience, the interface. ChatGPT today does still respond in just prose, a lot of text, some images. Um, my goal from day one has been, I'd like it to be like a magazine article with embedded images, videos, maybe things like that. It should flow with really good content. So primarily it's that, but secondarily also, because this is a search platform, it almost always uses, 99%, I guess I would say, it always fetches fresh content, um, versus ChatGPT may or may not. And so that's good. You're always getting the most fresh sort of content in response. And the third thing I'll say is, I can use ChatGPT APIs and just build upon it. So hopefully you get something that ChatGPT is providing, but hopefully somewhat better for the use case of search. For everything else, ChatGPT may be great. But for just purely for information retrieval, if you have a question that does require searching the internet, options, things like that, hopefully this gives an edge, a leg up. And it's enough for me to quit Google and build this thing. I feel that small sort of incremental enhancement you can build on top of ChatGPT has huge dividends, I feel. Just on the user experience side, if the user experience is much more nicer. By nicer, I mean much more colorful, rich, and tailored to my taste. That itself makes me feel better. But the second thing is this, what you're seeing on the screen, which is, can this, because this AI search platform is trying to profile and understand me and know what I'm searching, can it send me updates before even I know I need them? And at in its simplest way, you can just think of it as a newsletter you get every morning, like Morning Brew. But this is very, yes, you can think of it that way, but you can go a lot further. Instead of just dumping a summary of what's happening, what we know yesterday and what's happening as of this morning, um, you have the opportunity to see what are all the things the user likes or is interested in. And not everything may have updates. So your goal is not to just inundate with everything the user cares about. The goal is what is most meaningful to their lives. And the goal of my company, hence, is to enrich and improve, not enrich rather, but increase human happiness. And the way I connect the dots from a search platform to happiness is, the more burden a tool like this can do helps you hopefully make better, more informed decisions that hopefully leads to a happier life, because that's scientifically proven. The quality of decisions dictate the quality of your life. I am here at this stage because of my decisions I've made in the past. I could have not quit Google, or I could have found some other job. I had so many options, but I chose not to. And so my decisions, and if there's a tool that can help me inform, doesn't make the decisions for me. That's a gray area. That's a whole another discussion, but empowers me, guides me in a non-biased way, and in a way that's in the best interest of the user, me as a user, not in the best interest of the tool, which is the platform. The best interest of the platform could be engagement. Maybe they want the engagement, so they'll keep sending more and more emails and all these nice things, or very viral things, and get the user back, and they'll get their engagement, and they'll keep going and become a trillion-dollar company, which is the goal of most Silicon Valley startups, is for the founders to become billionaires and the company to be a trillion-dollar company. I mean, I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit, but you get the idea. But because I'm a one-person company and because I have no funding, I can boldly design my startup's philosophy and mission to be human happiness, and have the tool be on the user's side and make decisions with the user at the center, and not a metric like engagement and growth at the center. Because startups have to grow, otherwise they die. So it's a survival mechanism for them to leverage engagement and tricks and metrics. I don't have that problem. And I want to totally capitalize on it. That is one thing I have that the billion-dollar startups don't. So that's the connection with the search platform that can help you stay informed in a non-creepy, non-biased way, and hopefully proactively. That's my vision, such that you are better informed. And there's some other side benefits. You end up relying less on social media apps, because most people today, if you're like most people, you're getting updates from LinkedIn, X, Instagram, WhatsApp, social media apps, which are great. I mean, I use some of them, but uh, they tend to suck you in, and you see stuff, they get distracted, and you end up, it's very hard to have a short session with these apps. Let's just say that. And if all you're doing was wake up in the morning, you see what's going on related to your professional interest. I'm an architect, I'm a designer, I'm a computer scientist, like I'm a computer scientist who is coding the next startup. I want to know something that has been updated with the AI coding tools I'm using, Claude, Codex. Um, what's happening in the AI research, like something, a new research surfaced related to search, or some of the tools I'm using, or human behavior, human psychology that is related to happiness, because that's what my mission, company's mission, is to increase human happiness. I want to know that in a nice, succinct, compact way, because I'm not going to search that every day. That's stupid. Who does that? And nobody does that. And what you end up doing is you don't search every day. You don't get these updates, or even every week, or even every month. And so you completely reliant on, okay, morning, open LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, or news apps, and you see what Trump is up to and Iran war is up to, and all good. But how is that helping me and my family? These wars, all these things, macro things that are happening, it's great, but not you don't need to know all of them, especially early in the morning, all the time as well. You don't need to know all the time, especially in the morning. In the morning, I want to be focused so I can do some good work, so that I can grow personally and professionally, such that I can increase the quality of my life and my family's life. And indirectly, because of that, I can help contribute to my immediate community. And because of that, maybe I can go beyond my community, or my community can go beyond, and it can help the city, and so on and so on. And hopefully the happiness spreads, or at least the giving spreads. So at least in theory, that's the idea. That's kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And I'm going to do a few more videos, because I want to keep these videos under 15 to 20 minutes. I used to do 30 minutes, but I want to do 15 to 20 minutes. I can talk all day, by the way. I can do 3-hour videos, no problem. I have so much to share all the time, I feel. But I wanted to talk about all of that. And that's what by the way, you're seeing on the screen, is some research I did using Codex. I've been using Codex more because Claude Code has disappointed me, not just me, many of its users in the interest of growth. They want to go IPO maybe and everything. I just so disappointed because their actions clearly show a pattern. They want to be $1 trillion company. They are already a $1 trillion valuation company, and they want to dominate and be the first for AGI or what have you. And again, that's not a user-centric company because its primary mission and goal now is to become so big and so powerful to, to dictate the terms of AI and AI research and AI tools and AI applications. Good for them. So I'm disappointed by Anthropic. I use them. I use Claude Code daily. I'm on the $200 max plan, but I'm also on the $200 Codex plan. And I've been using Codex more. And I've messaged or tweeted to Elon Musk. Hopefully Grok can present an alternative as well. And so we as developers have more options. So yeah, that's the story so far. One last thing I'll say about AI newsletters is that, first of all, by the way, just to add more on sort of what I'm showing on the screen, there are two different sort of tools here, OpenAI Pulse and Google Deep Research. They both do some kind of a polling and sort of long-running tasks and can produce these kind of newsletters. OpenAI Pulse already shows a daily updates. But I asked the AI, like, given my values and the mission of my company of increasing human happiness and my core values of building a user-centric company, what should I do? And that's a message I wanted to share, maybe in closing, is that not only these AI tools help me code, so I'm typically I play the role of an architect, a software architect. And I've played in real life the role of a software architect. I was chief software architect at ask.com, which I just heard is now officially shut down. A little bit sad for that. But um, an architect is the role that most people will end up playing, or they should be playing, because you don't have to code for the most part. These tools can do it. I still edit, I still and review all the changes the code makes because I find so many issues with it: over engineering, under engineering, not using open source libraries, uh, um, not using another part of the code or system that it should, or not designing it uh, in a systematic way such that there is a clear interface and an abstraction so that other parts of the system can use this new component more easily. These are all critical sort of feedback I often have for AI coding, even the best of the best of the best. So I always have to intervene and review and kind of jump in. But for the most part, I'm playing the role of an architect. And I recommend if someone wants to build a startup like I am, learn how to be a great architect. And of course, a good businessman, because at the end of the day, this is a business and I have to make sure it's a sustainable business. So one of the things AI told me when I asked it to do research, going back to sort of just my closing, what is very interesting, it told me, and that's what I'm showing on the screen, is, and you see Snazzy Search. Snazzy Search is just a code name. It's not my real brand. I want to reveal my real brand in a couple of months when I'm ready. I bought the domain, but I'm working on getting the trademarks. So let's just call it Snazzy Search. What AI told me was, for my values, for my company's mission and my company's values and my own personal values as a founder, Snazzy Search should use proactivity to close loops, not open. And all this means is stop inundating people with just more and more updates and throwing everything. Like Morning Brew is a great newsletter. It's curated by humans as far as I know even today. They may be using AI tools, but largely it's editorial. And it's great. It's good for a lot of people. But for someone like me, I had this problem. It opened new looks. It created more curiosity. I see something that this happened or this is happening or this happening in Morning Brew newsletter. And it's like, oh, great, good to know. Wow, now I know. But now it opened a loop like, oh, I need to learn more. I have to click. And oh, if you just count the number of links Morning Brew has in a typical newsletter, it's well over 100, I believe. And so I mean, it's kind of just creating more anxiety. I'm wasting more time. You're helping me informed, and I am informed, but how is it helping me at the end of the day and my family? And so that's what I mean, and what AI means here is opening loops. Instead, the AI already knows, say I'm interested in watches and I'm an architect and I have something coming, a conference or something. Help me close the loop on that. Okay, and update me. And that helps me um, plan and make, again, better decisions. So that's what that means. And that's what I want to focus on. And this kind of goes to show how much it's important for founders, like how, the role founders play. Because the tiniest of decision, what should be in the newsletter, in the brief, the search platform, what I'm building, I want to have that sort of newsletter loop. I don't just want people to come and search. That's only half of the story, not even half. It's a very small percentage. The goal I have is me, help me catch up without even me telling you, because that saves me time and energy, and again, helps me be more productive. But and I so agree with this AI research. So that's a top tip, that if you're working with these tools, sometimes you can ask the tools to come up with questions if they're not sure. You can always in your prompt say, ask me questions. If you're not sure, ask me questions if you want to make decisions, or ask me questions, not decisions, but if you ask me questions on how to best design. And the AI will ask you questions, what are your goals, blah, 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 blah. And then you can follow up. And this is the top tip that most people don't do. I'm pretty sure about this. Most people don't do this. First, when you have the AI ask you questions, your immediate tendency is to answer them. And I suggest for more important sort of and critical questions, you follow up and ask the AI, why don't you do research? Go best research publications and websites, etc., and online. And why don't you tell me what I should give me my options and your recommendation based on here are my values, here are my core tenets of my company and my product. And so that's the top tip I wanted to share in this video. And you'd be surprised. And this is what came in my follow-up. And this is what I was thinking, but he was able to verbalize it much better than I would have, which is opening and closing loops. So that's a top tip. That not only use AI for your daily life. I think you should be using. Also use it to design companies and build products and help, in my case, code and design systems. But also use AI to then go next further and then, hey, you tell me based on this and this, what I should do. Good questions you're asking, but why don't you only propose answers? And it also simplifies life for you, because it does all the research. And then all you have to do is apply your values and then respond and say, yep, this is what I want, or say, no, this is not what I want, but this is what I want. And then have the AI go on and do the coding, and off it goes. And yeah, there you go. That's my life on a daily basis, 7 days a week. And yet I'm very happy for the most part, apart from this living situation, this nightmare living situation. So we took a big hit, a big loss, a lot of stress, anxiety, because we ended up picking the wrong place. But to be honest, in where we live, there aren't many good places. And we don't have the budget to live in really fancy, because I have no income today. So hopefully this new place is nicer, quiet. My main requirement is quiet, and at least I can look outside the window. In this room, I don't even have windows. It's completely sealed. I have zero view, zero. It's like, I call it like a prison cell, but a good prison cell. It's like, well, who was the rapper? Gucci Mane. He went to, for some reason, he was imprisoned, and while he was in prison, he wrote some of his best songs, lyrics, and he came out and rapped and became super popular. For me, I guess this ends up being that kind of prison. It's a terrible place to be, but it kind of hopefully brought the best out of me, and hopefully lead to somewhat better life for me and my family, and hopefully more beyond my family. Hopefully it'll help our potential users. So can't wait. That's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.